Hello viewers, welcome to my first official video since becoming a data analyst. The purpose for creating this video is because when I was a newbie in the data analyst field, I had tons of difficulties trying to import a CSV file into the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. It is for this reason that I am making this video to help the newbies into the data analyst have an easy passage when trying to import a CSV file into the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. What you have noticed is that I am open to positive criticisms and I'm always willing to learn from senior analysts. But if you have an alternative method through which we can import a CSV file into the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, feel free to give your thoughts in the comments section. Now let's dive into today's work without any further delay. So I'll first like to show you the CSV file that I want to import into the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, which is the layoffs. So let's just take a quick look at how big the file is. I'll just open all the columns so we can see clearly. Good. So our columns range from letter A right up to letter I, and this data has over 2,362 columns. So I'm just going to close this. And now I'm going to double click on the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio application. Let's just hang on a little while the application opens up. Just hang in there. Good. This is how the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio interface looks like. For those who have little or no idea on how to install and set up the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, indicate in the comment section and I'm going to do a separate video for that. So this is how the interface looks like, and then I'm just going to click on connect. And I always like to refresh this. For the purpose of this video, I'll be creating a new database so that those who do not know how to create a database in the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio can also benefit from this. So I'm just going to right click on these databases and then I'm going to click on new database. So for the purpose of this video, I will be naming this database tutorials. And then I'm going to click on OK. Again, I'm going to refresh this. And then I'm going to click on this small plus icon. And as you can see, our new database called tutorials has been created. All of these things you see here are databases. All of these in black, these are databases. So this is the newest of the databases that I've just created called the tutorials. So I'm going to refresh again. And we are going to begin the process of importing the CSV file we just saw into this Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So again, I'm going to right click on this database called tutorials, and then I'm going to go to task and then import data. This is going to pop up and then I'm going to click on next. For our data source, I'm going to choose the flat file source. I'm going to click on browse. My file is being saved under the downloads and under the tutorials folder. As you can see, there is no pop-up here. There's nothing here because we have text files. So in order to see our CSV file, I'm just going to click on this drop down arrow and then I'm going to choose CSV file. There you can see our CSV file and I'm going to click on it and then open. So I'm not going to change anything here. I'm just going to click on next. This is the file that we are importing. Let's just take a quick look at it. It looks exactly the same. I'm not going to change anything here, and then I'm going to click on next again. For our destination, I'm going to choose the Microsoft OLEDB provider for SQL Server. what you have noticed is that you have to make sure you are using the right saver name. That is, if you find yourself in a situation having more than one saver name. I have just one saver name and there is no need to change this, so I'm just going to leave this exactly the way it looks like. As you can see, I have just one. And also you have to make sure you are importing this data to the right database, and in this case our database that we want to import this data into is called the tutorials. So in case you are importing to the wrong database, you just have to click this drop down arrow and make sure you have the right database. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to stick with the tutorial database, and then I'm just going to click on next. I'm going to click on next again. Next. Then I click on finish. So as you can see, our file has been successfully uploaded to the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So we have a total of 2,361 rows transfer. Now let's compare it to the Excel file to see if all the rows were completely transferred to the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. So we have here 2,362. It is 2,362 because it began counting from the heading, which we have company, location, industry. But for our Microsoft SQL Server, we have 2,361 because the headings were excluded. Now, to be sure that our file has indeed successfully imported into the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, I'm just going to run a quick query. Now I'm going to click on query. Hold on a second while it's loading up. So I have to check to make sure that the correct file has been uploaded. Just give it a second. There we go. So I'm going to double click on these tutorials. I'm going to click on this small plus icon, and this is the file that we just uploaded. So I would like to rename this. By doing this, I'm just going to right click on this and then I'm going to choose rename. So I would just like to keep these as layoffs, like that. So I'm going to run a query. We'll select everything from, oh, it still has a previous name, but let's see. No, I don't think this is going to work. Let's just wait and see. No, it has to change to the new name, which is the layoffs. I'm just going to refresh this again. I'm going to select everything from, I don't know why this keeps coming back. Okay, I will do from tutorials like this, double tap, 2 dots, and then layoffs. Yeah, I think we are good to go. No, not the layoffs one, layoff. Like that. This is what I want. Perfect. So let's just, as you can see, this is what I was saying. From the Excel sheet, it started numbering from the file headers, but here it did not label from the file header. So that is why we have 2,361 rows. So this is our newly imported CSV file into the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that this video has made you learn something new. See you next time.